Hello everybody, this is Fernando for Godzilla Movie News. I thought I would create yet another video in my Urban Legends YouTube channel. This one again addressing an urban legend within the comic book industry. I had such a positive feedback from my other video, the one addressing the comic book urban legend of Death May Red essentially imploding the entire comic book industry. And it made me realize how many of my fans out there are within the comic book world and love it as much as I do. So I thought I would create yet another video dedicated within the comic book field, this time having to do with the urban legend that was there really one comic book that sold so well it made its creators instant millionaires overnight. And because of that status, it essentially led to their further issues being so delayed that the comic book was cancelled, and so they essentially imploded on themselves. That's the urban legend that I'll address here. Now, the issue and the comic book that we're talking about is actually Tribe Comics. It's Tribe was a comic book that was only published one issue back in 1993 within Image Comics, and it had to do with an African American theme. The creators were Todd Johnson and Larry Stroman, and they created this, again, only one issue, and afterward they did create further issues like issues 2 and 3, but they were with another publisher altogether. Now here's what I was able to dig up in terms of my research, and some of this actually comes straight from the creators, in this case Todd Johnson, and another set of resource comes from one of the quote-unquote founding fathers within Image Comics, who is Eric Larson, who of course is famous for his Savage Dragon issues. As far as the urban legend that they were instant millionaires overnight, no, it turns out that is not true, and the reason for this makes practical business sense. You'll see here Eric Larson addresses it as he says they didn't see a check until 60 to 90 days after publication. You couldn't blame missed deadlines on parting because at that point they wouldn't have gotten paid. And this has to do actually with Wizard magazine, who of course is now defunct, but back then they had stated in one of their issues that the reason why Tribe Comics was so late and only had one issue out was because issue number 2 was going to be delayed months and months ahead of time because the creators, who were now essentially instant millionaires, were spending all their time wasting away at parties. So Eric Larson addressed that on his point. And he also goes on to say that, chalk it up to an urban legend, and that's the myth that I'm addressing right now. He also goes on to state in this screenshot here that it was my recollection that Tribe was cancelled for being chronically late. The first issue was months late, and issue 2 was nowhere in sight when it finally did ship. And because of the business model that Image was getting so famous for at the time, where they already were having their books shipped late left and right, they didn't want to have yet another new set of books even cause further damage. So as he says here, the boys were looking to weren't looking to add to the problem by having a mess of new books shipping late. So the board of directors at the time, which included many of the Image founders, voted essentially to kick out Tribe Comics, and that's why issues 2 and 3, even though they were shipped, but even the months later time, were done within a different comic book publishing world. In this case, somebody else other than Image Comics. And again, the notion that there was, let's say, instant millionaires for Todd Johnson and Larry Stroman. Todd Johnson addressed that here too. You'll see this screenshot here. He said that according to accounting peculiarities that delayed the timely payment period you speak of, he said that essentially he agreed that yes, they could not have gotten paid. They weren't instant millionaires overnight because of the time factor involved from getting royalties from the issue. Funny that he didn't actually address anything related to why the first issue was late then in the first place. In terms of a couple of months, I think it was around 4 months late at the time, but even then, and let's say he did get paid within the 60 to 90 day period afterward, they did get paid a lot, because he says in another screenshot here that issue number 1 essentially purchased the house that he lives in right there. That goes to show the amount of money that he got on there. But in any case, just wanted to address again this urban legend. It is false in terms of a lot of things. Todd Johnson and Larry Stromer were again not instant millionaires off of one issue, and while they did receive a lot of money from it, it wasn't until several months after they received it, and no, they didn't party their time away and their money away, and that's why issues 2 and 3 were late. They were late because they were late just because these guys didn't have any kind of, it seems, business sense in terms of getting these things produced on a monthly basis, and so because of it, they had to incorporate the further issues with a new publisher. So anyways, just wanted to give that out there for everybody. Thanks as always for watching my videos. Take care. Bye.